Mopork here, bringing you another dungeon boss guide in Wildstar. Last up in Skullcano is Mordechai Redmoon. This encounter is considered to be one of the toughest 5-man encounters in the game. This is a 2-phase repeating encounter in similar fashion to Bosun. It is recommended that your group brings an LAS with a lot of utility. Mordechai will begin the encounter by jumping up to his platform and activating the TERRAFORMER. You will notice a warning in the upper portion of your screen that signals the TERRAFORMER begins to rumble. This signals the large insta-kip lasers. The TERRAFORMER will show its telegraph early and randomly choose clockwise or counterclockwise. Make sure you are in the center of the 2 lines so you can adjust which direction you need to go in. It's recommended that you stay near the inside of the circle when running away from the lasers, because geometry. While this is happening, lava puddles will spawn randomly throughout the room. These puddles will stun when you run over them, and you must quickly break out or get disintegrated by lasers. These puddles can be jumped over. Be wary of open space, as these areas are ripe choices for puddles to spawn. Run alongside other puddles or be prepared to jump if you see a puddle spawn in your path. It's greatly recommended to not use red telegraphs since the floor is mostly red as well, and these telegraphs can be difficult to see clearly. After the TERRAFORMER does a full 360, Mordechai will drop down and begin the fight. His auto attack will attack a line in front and behind. The auto attacks do a lot of damage, and melee will need to stand at his sides. It is important for the tank to keep Mordechai as steady as possible throughout the encounter. He will periodically cast Turret Grenade. This will target a player, do damage, and summon a turret at the target location. These turrets will aim at a random player and shoot a slow-moving projectile at the target in a straight line. This projectile will do moderate damage and do a large knockback. Be careful not to get knocked back into the lava into the center of the room. As more turrets fill the room, the encounter gets progressively harder. Think of these turrets as your soft enrage mechanic. Occasionally, throughout the encounter, you will see the warning, the TERRAFORMER is overcharging. The explosion will do a moderate amount of damage, and all players must face away from the center of the room before the TERRAFORMER explodes or they will be blinded. Mordechai can also be blinded by this explosion if he is facing towards the center. Small lasers will begin to rotate slowly around the room. If hit by these lasers, they will inflict a lethal damage over time debuff that also has a massive snare. This debuff can be CC broken or cleansed. You can avoid the lasers by jumping over them. Phase 2 begins at 66%. Mordechai will leap onto his platform again and activate the big lasers to the TERRAFORMER. Players must run away from the lethal lasers like they did in the beginning of the encounter, only now there is an added bonus of small lasers rotating in the opposite direction. Any turrets that were present will be destroyed by the big laser as they pass through. After Phase 2 ends, he will continue as normal. Mordechai has now gained the ability Big Bang. He will leap onto and stun a random target and begin casting the lethal attack. This ability must be interrupted by teammates. The stun can be CC broken and the attack can be avoided as well. Be careful about being too close to small lasers before this happens, since you can be stunned into a small laser. The fight continues as normal, and the next Phase 2 begins at 33%. This TERRAFORMER phase has no added surprises. In the final Phase 1, turrets will no longer be destroyed since there will be no more big lasers. Mordechai now gains the ability Vicious Barrage. This ability is a high damaging attack that will repeatedly shoot and rotate in a large area around him. This is difficult to avoid and is recommended that you interrupt or outrange it. He will still be able to cast Big Bang, so your group needs to figure out what it should be interrupting based on how many people are alive or how many interrupts were brought. There are 2 challenges for this boss. You must defeat Mordechai within 10 minutes of defeating Quartermaster Gra, and Mordechai must be blinded with every TERRAFORMER overcharge without anyone in the group being blinded themselves. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn about another boss in Skullcano, click the link above. Until then, once again, this is Mopork. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you next time.